All right, thank you very much for staying with us right here. It is minutes to 3 p.m. and we have today decided that we're going to start the whole sports review much earlier today. And with me is obviously Kevin Benson on set for the very first time right here on the spot. You good?
I'm good, Stanley. Are you good?
Mi niko salama sana. I used to, seeing you via Zoom, but then today we have you here, and obviously Evans Auma. Evans.
Yeah.
It has been a very interesting week for you. The fact that you're fasting, Chelsea was beaten mercilessly.
Actually, it has been a great week for Chelsea. We thrashed Southampton 6-1. Then we did that thing to Real Madrid. So it has been fantastic and amazing week for me.
Chelsea fans holding on to that 6-1 win. Anyway, and obviously Jijo will be joining Jijo when he joins us later on. Remember also for that particular swimming interview that we were to have with Kenneth Karan, he is in Lusaka, Zambia, by the way, right now, but then due to some internet connectivities all the way to Zambia, we will do that particular interview later on. But right now, though, let's begin with again for the fixtures for today's game. Gor Mahia versus Tusker, Talanta versus Police FC. Those games are starting right now. Posta Rangers versus Bidco United. Will be diving into the particular Kenya Premier League fixtures later on. Right now, though, gentlemen, let's start with some rugby action. And Benson, last time when we were talking about the whole Singapore Sevens, and Kenya didn't really perform as much as we had expected. What do you expect generally for Vancouver Sevens?
You're talking of a Kenyan team that really didn't match the performance, or rather they did not perform as we expected. A team that even in the last game trailing 19-0 at halftime, was it to Spain, finishing 9th in the semi-finals. And we are talking of a team that we really expect to perform. And this is a team that I really wish that they can pick up from there, because we are talking of a team that came back later. But that comeback, in as much as it was a spirited fight, it was not enough to really maybe ensure that they could win against Spain. So we are talking of a team that I really expect maybe to show us what it can achieve in the Vancouver Sevens, because in the Singapore Sevens, they did not perform in as much as many even fans expected them to perform. Talk of a comeback that was really late, but ours is just to sit back, maybe see whether they will be fine going forward.
Right, and Evans, for this particular Vancouver Sevens, we are facing Fiji, United States of America, and England. When you actually even look at Fiji and England, these are two big teams. These are two big countries, and obviously Kenya will be out to restore the glory. They finished 10th overall. What do you expect generally, Evans, for the Vancouver?
So for me, I think Vancouver will be, a moment of redemption for Kenya Sevens. In the Singapore's, they finished it was 11th, and actually they dropped from 8th to right now they're 10th in the table. And I believe Vancouver, when you compare the teams of caliber of USA, and we have Fiji, which are the current champions of Tokyo. Then actually Fiji won the last edition of Singapore. And right now we hope that Kenya will try to at least redeem themselves and try to improve on the ranking, because as they were heading to Singapore, one of the key things that they were really focusing on is to improve their current ranking. And right now, I think owing to the last performance, things were not that good. Instead of climbing up, they really dropped to position 11th. But right now, let's hope the boys will pick up, and at the end of the day, they'll make us proud.
Right. Yeah. And when they were actually starting this particular competitions, they had a target. Do you feel like they're anywhere near reaching their own targets?
Lately, there have been, ups and downs, but with proper preparation and, the proper spirit and teamwork, they will reach that target, because impossible is the word nothing to any game.
Indeed, Benson. For this particular, for the Vancouver, Sevens, it will be prepping for the Africa, World Cup. And do you think that your predictions in this particular World Cup and the whole series, and actually for the whole Vancouver and the Singapore, the coach, brought in some new players and young players to spice it all up, and for young players basically. What do you think?
Evans has mentioned something on teamwork, and I really think we are talking of a Shujaa team that was it 2016 that we saw them maybe winning a trophy. Remember, we are in a pool in the Vancouver Sevens, and we are in a match where we are facing difficult opponents. Are you talking of Fiji, who performed very well, a performance that pundits will tell you it was unmatched previously, winning 28-17 against New Zealand, and New Zealand are a team that really they are a force to reckon. To talk of this Fiji team being a team that they won the Tokyo Olympic medalists. They are the Tokyo Olympic medalists. So in as much as we are going forward as a team, Team Kenya, we really expect Kenya to perform, because we are talking of a stage that really has competition. In as much as we might see maybe we've lost maybe in the Singapore Sevens, are we building on that loss? Are we building on those results? And then going forward, what are we doing to ensure that really we will put up a performance, or rather will make the country proud? In as much as you might want to mix the team, maybe the coach tries select a team that has little of experience, a team that has played before, and then if you are to go forward, then work on the mistakes. Are there errors that maybe you witnessed in the game that you don't want to see them repeated? Do you want to see a team that will help you win maybe even a trophy? Because that is the spirit that Team Kenya should have going forward.
Indeed, and I wish by direction we can have graphics of the whole pool, the whole pools of the particular Vancouver Sevens. Meanwhile, Evans, who for the Singapore Sevens, who do you think was for the Kenyan team, for the Shujaa? Who do you think was one of the key players that now come for this particular weekend for the Vancouver Sevens? Some of the key players we should really look out for.
Actually, lately there have been quite of changes to the squad. This is not the squad that we used to see. The likes of Injeras, the likes of Hayange. But right now there are still inexperienced players that are under transition. So when you look at the caliber of teams like let's say South Africa, then we had USA, we have New Zealand and Fiji. These are teams that they have been dominating in the game for quite some time. They have experienced players. So for me, Kenya will be banking on so many players. But for me, I think the likes of Andrew Ambane, then we have Wanyama. I think they'll try to improve and carry the Kenyan caliber. You saw their game against Canada, the way they played, and some of the tries that they tried to score. And I will just say it was a bad luck for Kenya against Japan, but I think this time round they have learned some few things and correct some errors, and going forward as they prepare to tackle USA, they will try to overturn that margin. It was 25-5, and that is a big margin for a team like Kenya. So this time round, let's try and wait to see what they will do this time round, especially against USA. Then the Fiji, they have played Fiji. It was in 2016 and they won in Singapore. So I don't think if there is something that they can't do, if only, they work hard and work on their silly mistakes that they make and how they are finishing. For me, it's all about the finishing. In rugby, it's all about the finishing, how you score those tries and how you tackle. That's what matters.
Indeed. And Benson, as we also conclude this whole rugby action bit of it, some key players you personally feel like for the Vancouver Sevens might really be a huge factor for us.
Remember, we are talking of a team that Evans has said it has a lot of changes. Are you talking of people who are said they are hanging the boots, maybe even finishing their rugby career? Maybe they are saying that they have put Kenya at a place where they wish to be. There is this guy who has been scoring tries. I can't remember his name. He's huge. You can see his prowess. And if really Kenya is to bank on individuals also, there are people who should maybe try and stand up for the team, because this is a tournament that it will be hosted in, is it Canada Canada. Vancouver, it will be in Canada.
Yes.
In as much as you might not have so many fans from Kenya or Africa there, then you have also fans abroad that you inspire. In as much as Team Kenya might want maybe to win a trophy, are they going there knowing that they've lost in the previous game? Are they going there knowing that they really have to make the country proud? Talk of a team that won in 2016. This is a team that was very it was a very competent team. Talk of a team that used teamwork. Are you talking of individual brilliance? Because when the team fails to perform, you bank on individual players. Who are the key players that maybe the coach should bring on board, maybe to see whether they can change the direction of the whole tournament? Yeah.
Indeed. Now, away from the whole rugby action, for question of the day today was, would you think, the newly, or rather, actually, right now it's not the whole, we don't really refer to it as the newly, but basically the Football Kenya Federation Caretaker Committee, has it, achieved its mandate for, cleaning the house? Benson. The whole when the FKF Caretaker Committee was appointed, we were out here saying maybe they might try, maybe it's high time. But then so far for you, is it so far so good? Do you think that they have actually managed to ensure that their mandate has been achieved?
You remember you are talking of a committee that was formed when they saw that there is a need to have a sanity in the sports industry. A committee that is it led by the former Chief Justice
Aaron Ringera.
Yeah. A committee that really we would expect to perform, but according to me, I don't think they have performed in as much as Kenyans would want to perform, because talk of a sports ministry that has been having so many issues. An issue come, they say they are fixing the issue, and then it's like you are sweeping that in your house, and then you're putting it under the carpet. That will still come out again, and that is that has been the problem in this Kenyan sports industry. In as much as the FKF committee might want to say that really we've tried to perform, we've really tried to maybe to even account for anything that we've lost. Are you talking of maybe firing people who you think are the problem? Even if you are firing people who you think are the problem in the sports industry, in your capacity as the committee, what are you doing? In as much as you might want to clean the mess, because they've been saying that the mess even that we saw in FIFA, in as much as FIFA wanted to ban Kenya from are we talking of football activities, and then the committee says that we will appeal for this thing and everything else. In as much as you might want to see results, or rather something tangible, we want to see communication. Are they communicating to the people direct? What are they doing? What effort are they putting? Maybe table it and tell the people this is what we've achieved so far, and by so doing, I think they will try and achieve something in the sports ministry.
Indeed, but then even somebody might again trying to argue that as much as the FKF Caretaker Committee is doing its best to clean and make sure that they do their and they stamp the authority and everything about it, but then you remember that each and every county has the FKF branches of it. And you remember back then when FKF Caretaker Committee called for a particular meeting, and very few people, I think it was actually one branch committee who showed up. So somebody might argue that as much as the Caretaker Committee is doing everything it can, but then the quote unquote the loyal FKF county branches are not really showing their support even.
I think the newly appointed FKF Caretaker Committee has been hit with hurdle. Remember, they took aim during the time that the country was under chaos in terms of football, and one of the things that they were supposed to do was to try to restore sanity and clean the house. And so far, actually things are not that quite okay. We are talking about a period that Kenyan referee are really crying fault of FKF Caretaker Committee. They have gone 4 months without pay. Reasons we don't know yet, so we can't really talk much about it. But during their time, we've seen quite a lot of things happening. Remember, there is some matches that were aborted without even apparent reason. There was no official communication from FKF Caretaker Committee, and one of the things was to make sure the smooth running of the football affairs in the country. And so far I can say even if they have tried, but they haven't tried that enough. So for me, they have just remained with 1 month to go, and I don't think if they have done enough that many would have expected, So the remaining 1 month, let's try to give them time. But right now, I think they are failing us.
Benson, okay, as much as you also feel like as much as they have not really done enough, but then they have like a month to go. Still, the whole contract expires. Do you think that, we should give them a chance? Evans, whether you're one person who always says patience, patience, patience. So, Benson, do you feel like, they need patience right here? Let's give them more time to improve us.
If you are talking of time, if the time that maybe you've been given, and I should remind you the mandate that they were given upon appointment, the FKF committee was given 4 roles, and one, they were told that they were to conduct all affairs in accordance to the constitution, that is sports, to ensure also that the FKF complies with the Sports Act, that is of 2013. They also to ensure smooth running of operations in FKF, and conduct elections, and also hand over maybe to the newly elected FKF officials. These are roles that we haven't seen them coming out as so clear. We haven't seen results that we could say they are tangible, or rather something that we can measure and say this is what they've done so far. I mean, as much as we might want to give them time, remember, if we are talking of people who haven't even been paid, are we talking of 4 months? These are people who have families to feed. Are you talking of people who have also their own stomachs to feed, leave alone the families? And these are people who really are trying to ensure that the sports industry is to get back somewhere, maybe get on track. But if the committee fails to perform the mandate that it's been given, and if maybe Kenyans feel that still we've given time but they cannot perform the roles we've given them, then if it's time for them maybe to stop even working, it better be because we're talking of a committee that we really expect to perform so much. In as much as we might say that Kenya has been facing many issues in as much as sports is concerned, remember Kenya has faced also many issues, not only in the sports industry, but we need to have a sense of direction, maybe some sanity, and by so doing, then maybe we can say that they can achieve. But I will not think of them being given time again. I think that 1 month should be enough, and if they don't know what we expect, then it's over for them.
Well, what next, though? What next, Benson? I mean, fine, their 1 month ends, so what next after that? Do we again start to look for another committee? What do you think, should happen?
That's how Kenya works. Kenya is a country where a committee is formed, they dissolve the committee, they give you another one, then they tell you that will perform. In as much as when the committee was formed, people praised it. People said that this is a committee that really we expect it will do, maybe it will make big steps in the sports industry. Talk of a committee that has really serious individuals. If you are to look at the names that are there on paper, you will tend to think these are people who will work. But if in the office you can't work, or rather you can't help the country, yet you have those big names, then you are failing the country. In as much as we might want maybe something to happen, we might want a committee, not even a committee, we might want sanity in the sports industry. Maybe you might dissolve the committee, and then you end up being even having maybe worsening the situation. In as much as you might want to dissolve the committee or add them time, are you changing the people in the committee? Are you bringing others who you tend to think that maybe they can work better than the previous team? And if that is the direction that the committee is to take, then I think we can give them time. But if the current members will still be there, and I haven't seen the results, then it will be a cry to the public.
Speaking of new members, Evans, we were expecting, for new elections for now for the FKF, a new president of that particular body, and the aspirants, they are out the whole country, campaigning for and selling the bid and saying that I'm the best. So what happens now if it's only 1 month for the FKF Caretaker Committee? What next now? Who will conduct these particular elections? This is one thing that Kenyans out here are concerned about in knowing.
Actually, that's the big question, because right now we are not sure if there will be any election. Let's be honest about that, because as things stand right now, things are just going from different directions. There's no clear indication that there will be election anytime soon. We're talking about it's just a couple of weeks away before the caretaker committee call it a day as far as their 6 months is concerned. However, right now the state of Kenyan football is in a totally chaotic scene. and we expected like right now things will be a bit better in terms of the local leagues, and as far as a few things like paying of coaches, clearing the unpaid arrears, so many things that are happening in the Kenyan football. The suspension of matches, there are some of things that we had expected to be organized long ago, and this would have been a thing of the past. But as things stand right now, things are just stagnant the way they are. And we are not sure about the next election, because right now we would have seen or rather would have had a clear indication that election will be on this particular date. But if I asked you right now, do you know when will be the next election for FKF Caretaker Committee? The answer is obviously no. So where are we heading?
Where are we heading? We really should ask Akina Toha Mbarak for that. And actually, for this whole the whole ban on Kenya and everything about it, Benson, this is one story that for many football fans and football players, it really hurt them. The whole fact that we as Kenya, we were not, selected to be part of the CECAFA. What do you really take on this?
Remember, you're talking of the sports industry in Kenya, rather football to mention in particular. And I will take you back to AFCON when Senegal and even other teams were playing. Kenya, we were knocked out. Are you talking of Kenyan referees who were there? Talk of even officials who were there in the AFCON. And then when the ban came, you're being told you cannot even sign players, and even your referees, maybe they won't go outside the country and maybe officiate matches. These are laws to the country. Remember, if it reaches a point where the international stage recognizes Kenyan referees or other Kenyan players as players who really can perform. Are you talking of Olunga? He's in Qatar scoring goals there abroad. Then if you're talking of maybe even you cannot make a signing, you cannot go abroad, you cannot be signed at any particular team, then you lower the morale of the team, you lower the morale of the players. And remember, in order for you to make it as a sports person in Kenya, it takes a very huge task. That is why in Kenya you will see, if you're not recognized as a talent when you are young by teams that are abroad, then when you are old, maybe you are past your 20 something, it takes a very big thing or an effort for you to maybe make it in the international stage. And that is the morale that we are lacking. If you are a player and you see that maybe Kenya lacks a sense of direction as matters as sports are concerned, then your morale, your self-esteem, in as much as you want maybe to be a professional footballer, it lowers and maybe it demoralizes you. So I think that was not it hasn't been a very good thing for Team Kenya. Also for the football fans, they've been crying out loud. Most of people who follow local football, like Evans and me also, these are people who understand that football starts from the grassroots. If you can't inspire people from that level, then it becomes a huge task.
And also Jijo, wherever he is, will be connecting with him very soon. A very huge Kenya Police FC fan. And speaking about Kenya Police and their new stadium, gentlemen, Ulinzi Stars have a new stadium. And okay, fine. And I had said this earlier. The fact that Ulinzi has a new stadium. What about the ambulance? I'm really actually very keen to know about that. Do they have a defibrillator? Come seriously though. Even still think, because this is one thing that we should really look at, as much as everything about that. But then let's go back to the very small and minute details about football.
I think the issue, that was just a mistake, come on. Ulinzi is a big team. Yeah, as you can see, they have all the supports that they need. They have, the first stadium in the Kenyan Premier League. So this is the right step toward, a first step toward the right direction. So for Ulinzi, with the backing of, let's say, the government, and of course, you have seen how President Uhuru Kenyatta is so passionate about, the army guys. So this is a team that in terms of infrastructure and capacity building, they are well equipped. And the only thing that is remaining now is to see their performance now being reflected. The way I've seen, they have, built at least a stadium that will host a couple of matches, not only football, but even, basketball, tennis. So for them, kudos for them. But now we want results.
Now we want results. Evans is basically telling me, leave it alone. Leave that whole ambulance thing alone. But then, Benson, when you look at the performance of Ulinzi Stars this particular season, well, it hasn't really been as good. But then now they have a new stadium. They have a fresh grass and everything about it. They don't have an excuse right now. They were, previously playing in Afraha Stadium, then Kericho Green Stadium. Right now, they have a new perfectly good stadium. Do you think this might really boost their performances?
I really think it will boost their performance, and I loved when the stadium was being commissioned. They said that this will not only be a stadium that will host only football events, or rather this will not only be a stadium of Ulinzi Stars, it will also host other events. And I think it is a thing that maybe others in the country should benchmark on. Remember, this stadium is it a 10,000 seater maybe capacity, something close to that?
1,700.
Yes, and we are talking of a stadium that really the president said it's up to the management now to ensure it maintains international standards, because you remember when we had the youth games that should have been played in Kenya, but when FIFA now came and they saw the quality of the stadiums in your country, they said no, this will act as a molestation to other players. This will not be stadiums that are up to par. And now this is a step in the right direction. Talk of Ulinzi Stars, a team that we've seen them in the past playing maybe quality football. Their performance has deteriorated more so this season, and also talking of them playing in stadiums like Afraha, maybe traveling all there. And I really think now, if they are maybe to bank, or rather to build on that, look at the stadium. You have a good stadium that you can play on. Are you looking of minor details that you're calling minor but are not minor because they can cause even death if a player is injured in the field? It's the small things that matter in football.
Thank you.
And that's why when we have concussions, we have people who react very fast. In as much as you might want to say that it's a small thing, remember, ignorance at the end of the day pays a lot. You will have to pay a lot for ignorance. So Ulinzi Stars is a team that we really know its caliber. It's a team that it has a name. If you mention Ulinzi, people will get that right. So it is a step in the right direction, and I think going forward, then bank on the team, build the team, come again next season, and then maybe try to see.
Well, let me try to debunk something. For Ulinzi,
please debunk it.
For Ulinzi, it's not about the stadium. I believe a team is judged based on performance. You may not have a stadium, but you perform. Ulinzi is not a team that is well known for investing in players. And if you want to win leagues, you want to win cups, you must invest in players and not the stadium. So a
good example is actually Bukungu Stadium. Look at Bukungu Stadium in the performance of Kakamega Homeboys.
Yeah, for me, I think it's all about investing in the right players. Now they have built the stadium. Now the next thing that they should be doing right now is sporting talent and investing in that, because that is the only way they will win titles. For me, Ulinzi is still average team for me, and I don't think they are the dominant force in Kenyan Premier League.
So basically, the whole fact of them having a new stadium is just a tip of the iceberg. So they really have a huge load of work to do for that. Then let's go back to something interesting you're talking about, Benson, the maintaining of stadiums. And when you look at this particular country, so many projects have started. I'm talking about the water stadium, quite a number of stadiums in this particular country. They were started, but then they are either being constructed yet, or some, and I'm talking about stadiums that were the construction started like 7 years ago, 5 years ago. They're still in construction, or something just happened, construction just stopped. Why do you think? Who is to blame basically, Benson?
I think in as much as we are talking of football, you remember when the current government that is in place right now, when they were being maybe selling themselves, they were saying that we will build stadiums in a matter of maybe some months or in a year. Many stadiums will be built and the projects will be completed. Are you looking back then? Are you looking of 5 years later, or even 10, 7, 8, 9, and then the stadiums are still not yet built? Are you talking of projects that started maybe earlier in the year and then still they've not been completed? Is this a thing that is maybe political? Do they want to show people that they are still trying to build the stadiums, yet still maybe trying to campaign via the sports industry?
And actually, Benson, sorry to cut you short, but then you'll actually come to realize that during this electioneering period, that's when the construction picks up. Then after it stops.
Yeah, it slows down, and that's Kenya for you. People will try really to show the people that we are the men for the job. That's why we are doing this. That's why we're investing in this. Remember, sports is an industry that should not be overlooked generally. This is a very big industry, an industry that pays, an industry that is growing. In as much as you might want maybe to deliver in other sectors, are you talking of roads, maybe as a government? Are you delivering even on the sports industry? Are you talking of projects that you start then you complete them? These are the things that maybe sports fanatics will look at, because we are talking of a country that really we have good roads. To look at the Super Highway, look at other roads that are being built. Are you talking of stadiums that are built but not yet complete? In as much as we might want to look at Ulinzi Stadium as a stadium that we will benchmark on, then going back to other stadiums, trying as much as possible to ensure that they are completed. You've mentioned something about who is to blame. You know, corruption has killed many, rather than maybe in the country, rather than maybe growing the industry. And when maybe these funds are released, and these funds are to build stadiums, and then these funds maybe they're used wrongly, and if that happens, then it becomes a problem in the industry.
All right. Now, I was looking at some of the whole Kenya Premier League fixtures. I can see your team, Tusker, Wabingwa Watetezi, Tusker FC is leading 1-0 right now. Courtesy of Shafan. Wow. Are you Benson? Are you pretty positive that you will win this game? Gor Mahia. Let's actually start with that particular predictions for the Gor Mahia. You're playing Sirkal. Are you positive that so far you're leading? But then are you positive that you're going to win?
I look at teams that are well poised. Both of them, I think, is it that for somewhere there? Mm-hmm. Teams that I really expect a battle, a performance that should be outstanding. I am a fan of Tusker, so I really expect us to win. I don't expect us to win with a very good margin, but a draw will not be a bad result. But if we've taken the first goal, then build on it and maybe try to see whether we can win.
All right, Evans. Quickly into the whole predictions of this particular game, Gor Mahia Tusker. There, some 17 minutes in. Do you think that they'll 30 minutes actually in for that particular game? What are your predictions on this game?
I like the way he's very objective, because a clash between Tusker and Gor Mahia, that is the battle of the Titans.
Indeed.
There are the two teams that know each other very well, and if you look at the statistics, most of the time they have played to a draw, and in most cases probably the last 5 matches Tusker have gotten the better of Gor Mahia. And for this one, if Tusker leads right now, and the possibility of Gor Mahia walking away with the maximum points is almost slim, because of the nature of the competitive of the game, because this most of the time they end up a stalemate draw, or sometimes they play to a 1-1 draw. So this is a very intense game, and let's say the best that this battle can go. It can go either way, but right now I think the tide might be in the favor of Tusker as things stand. But this is a very, very, very fierce and competitive battle between the two teams, because these are the dominant teams in the Kenya Premier League, and they know each other very well. They have played against each other for a couple of times, and the results have always been there for us to see. And right now, let's hope Tusker will maintain the lead. However, it's quite intense game.
Tusker, I'm pretty sure Tusker, you won't win this game, this particular season. But then anyway, you, dear viewer out there, please talk to us and tell us your predictions on this particular game, Gor Mahia versus Tusker. Who do you think will win? Who are you rooting for this particular game? I'd probably go for a draw, personally, maybe a 1-1, or maybe, let's say a 2-1 for Gor Mahia, the 2 goals for Gor Mahia. Gentlemen, Talanta versus Kenya Police. I really wish Joe was here to defend his Kenya Police team. Talanta versus Police. Talanta is one team that this particular season has really shown its impressive form, and Police are there. Police, this particular season they might, they might give a good, form. The next game they're just there, and they have quite impressive players. Benson, your predictions on this particular game?
Talanta Police, already Police are leading 1-0 as we speak, a goal that was scored in the 13th minute. And in as much as Kenya Police even winning this game it will help them. At least they will maybe reduce the gap of points, because Atalanta have 33 points. Police winning this game, they will have 32 points. Remember, these are mid-table teams. They're not even maybe on top, so they are 10th, 11th. They are well poised there. I think in as much as we might try to say that they have come as teams that we want to watch, then I don't think we want to watch them this season, because in as much as you are a a team that has good players. Yes, you might pick a result today and then tomorrow you are losing it, like the great Manchester United and this team that I'm wearing, the jersey, Arsenal. In as much as you might try maybe to pick a result today, lose tomorrow, that has been their form, and I think not many people will associate you with that, because that's mediocre performance, and in football we want consistency. I really wish to see Kenya Police maybe next season how they will come into the competition. This season I don't see them maybe being a threat to anyone, because we already can see Kakamega running away with the title. So I really think if Kenya Police will not win this game, then it will be a 1-1 draw or a 2-0 win to Kenya Police.
And finally, Evans, for the Posta Rangers versus Bidco United, can see Bidco United is leading in the so far 1-0 lead. What are your predictions on that game before we move on to tomorrow's games?
That one, I think Bidco United will carry the day. Actually, these are, the two teams that right now they are struggling, to rediscover their form. In the recent, by the beginning of the season, Posta Rangers were really somewhere, and many would have thought that this is now the team that will be there to challenge the titles. We thought that come this time this season, we'll see them probably number 2, 3, 4 there challenging for title. Unfortunately, things are not working in their favor, and I've seen Bidco struggling. I remember there's a time the coach was talking about, now improving from one game to another, and actually I will hold him for his words, and quite lately has tried to improve on that one, and I think now that the Bidco United are leading, they might go on and carry the 3 points.
Mm-hmm. Now, from today's game to tomorrow's game, and this is one game that there are the table bottomers, number 17 and number 18. I'm talking about Vihiga Bullets. Vihiga Bullets is number 17. They have played 24 matches so far. Vihiga Bullets has 16 points in hand, and Mathare United, their relegation threatened Mathare United, and they're 11 points with on the table. Kakamega Homeboys has 53 points. Mathare United has 11 points. Look at that particular difference. But then, gentlemen, what happened to Mathare United? Let me start with you, Benson. What really happened to Mathare United? Do you feel like, maybe moving on, Mathare United will pick up in the next season, that is?
You cannot pick up if you'll be relegated. Are you talking of a team that has 11 points the whole season? Are you playing 25 games? Are you winning 3, drawing 2, and then are you losing 20? Are you conceding 54 goals and scoring only 18, and then you want to pick up? You cannot pick up. Mathare United will be relegated. That's stamped. We know they will be relegated this season. So in as much as they might want to improve or rather come as a team or a force that we want to reckon, then they now have to start at the lower league and then maybe rebrand and come back again. And it's a very difficult thing. We've seen teams being relegated, even in England, teams like Hull City that were in the Premier League. Are you relegated? You go into the lower league and then you go into the second tier, the third tier. That's how football works at times, because you're talking of maybe a team that you have players that you think are quality, and then these players know you are being relegated. They see, I will not play in this lower league again. I know the caliber of a player I am, so I want to move on to a better team. And these players maybe go to a bigger team. So you are left with a team that maybe is from the academy. This is a team that you want to pick results with. Then that tells you I have to go back to the drawing board. Am I going back to the bank and sign players? And you're not signing a world-class player to come and maybe play at the lower league, because people want to be seen playing in the league that we can notice. So Mathare United, I really will not think they will come as a force to reckon, not even in the next season, maybe in the next 2 years, because they really have not lived or performed as we expected this season. Evans,
is it game over? Is it game over for Mathare United?
Yeah, for Mathare United, definitely it's a game over. Mathare United's story is one of a fairy tale, from heaven to hell. I remember there is a time that Mathare United was a force to reckon with. They were challenging. They were at the par with the likes of Gor Mahia, Tusk FC. I remember they won their league, was it in 2008? Mm-hmm. And this is a team that has been performing. They have been in the scene. They have been, challenging for titles. We're talking about even the Super Cups. And right now, it's a team that is fighting for relegation. It's sad to see a team like Mathare now going, in a manner that we can't even really explain. Last season they survived, but this time round it seemed like relegation is inevitable for them, and we just hope things will be resolved, and probably we'll see Mathare United probably in the coming future in the Kenyan Premier League. But as we speak right now, with a couple of matches remaining, it's game over for them. And this is a team that will be playing the National Super League. Probably next time when we'll be here, we'll be talking about, will we see Mathare, making it to Kenya Premier League? Well, it's hard to say, but that's the truth. That's how it is.
That's indeed the sad truth. But then again, for the table topper, the Kakamega Homeboys. And gentlemen, I feel like this is a 3 points easy win for Kakamega Homeboys. They'll be playing against Sofapaka tomorrow at 3 p.m. Do you think, let me start with you, Evans, do you think that, do you share my sentiments? Is this an easy game, or has Sofapaka, rolled its sleeves and said this game we are coming in strong?
Well, for me, it's obviously 3 points for Kakamega Homeboys. Remember when we were back there, I think it was before, game, was it 6?
Mm-hmm.
I had seen Kakamega Homeboys flying with the title, and I maintain my stand, and I know you and I know even Benson will prove me, Kakamega Homeboys have carried the title, and for any team that feels they're strong enough, they can catch them. But I can surely, as I can say to you today, and you can see right now, the league has already been flying, and Kakamega Homeboys are already flying with the league. So this is a team that have really surprised many. I remember there is a time that they were struggling. Was it even last season, by the way?
Indeed.
They were really struggling, and right now they have overturned. And one of the success factors that have worked out so well for Kakamega Homeboys, it's the fact of, the academy. And that's a true testimony that if you invest, in academy and you nurture young talents, at the end of the day, you'll get your reward. And that is a success factor that you have seen with Kakamega Homeboys. And we're talking about a club that honestly, they don't have financial muscles.
True.
And I don't think if they have, reliable sponsors, but they have utilize what they have, and that is the academy players. And what is happening with Kakamega Homeboys is what FC Leopard coach is doing, turning to academy players, and it's working out. You have seen how FC Leopard have turned to, have managed to overturn their bad form, and now they are scoring goals and they're winning, and that's amazing.
Indeed, hopefully Mathare United might turn themselves into the whole academy training of it. Before we conclude into the whole KPL reviews of it, Benson, Kakamega Homeboys of Sofapaka, your last predictions on this?
Homeboys will win this game. And if you're looking at Homeboys, they sit very well. They are scoring for fun 43 goals this season, losing only 2 games. So this is a team that I really, most of when they watch Tuska's game and they see Tusker leading against Gor Mahia and Tusker chasing them second, Tusker having 46 points. So they really will want to win this game. And I see a 2-0 win or a 3-0 win because the boys are really playing and they're really scoring beautiful goals, not only goals. So Kakamega Homeboys will carry the day.
Indeed. All right, now let's cross over from matters local football to international football. And before we'll definitely be starting with the whole Champions League and dive into the English Premier League and obviously our own English Premier League team of the week and obviously the players of the week, the coach of the week. So for you, dear viewer, talk to us and tell us, who do you think, which team rather deserves to be the English Premier League team of the week? Who are your chosen English Premier League players of the week and coach of the week? But then let's start with Champions League. And Evans is look at me. I'll definitely mention your 3 goals. You were given 3 goals, and Benzema, was there running around the field and saying, "Fine, you guys score your own 3 goals, but then you won't go anywhere with this." Do you have again anything to say about this, Evans?
Well, for me today, I feel like I'm a very proud Chelsea fan. You remember last time when we were speaking, you told me going to Bernabeu Stadium and getting a win against Real Madrid.
Will be impossible.
It will be impossible. And I told you, in football, you never really can't tell. And I told you, you will be surprised if you see Chelsea, scoring even 4 goals. Actually, Chelsea scored 4 goals. And VR did what they had to do. But the bottom line is, Chelsea won at Bernabeu Stadium. And even the coach, the Real Madrid coach, said Chelsea was the toughest opponent he has ever faced. What does it tell you?
Are you in semis?
Okay, despite the fact that we are knocked out of the Champions League, but we went home as warriors. We fight until the last breath, and that's what matters in football. A winning team always, fight. Remember, we conceded 7 goals the previous week, and we scored more than 7. Actually, we scored more than 7 goals plus a few bonuses. Now, that is the mentality of a winning team. Bouncing back from defeat, scoring, bagging goals. Timo Werner was playing amazing football. The way the combination, the chemistry between Werner and Mount, the way they were scoring, it was beautiful. They are not just scoring balls, they were enjoying the game.
You have perfectly represented Chelsea fans out there, and they are definitely anyway.
It is our moment to shine.
Fine. Okay, Benson, what do you think about the midweek Champions League fixtures? And definitely, before you even continue, for now the whole semi-finals, Manchester City will be playing against Real Madrid. That is on the 26th of April, and then Liverpool will be facing Villarreal on the 27th. And then obviously now that's the leg 1, and then obviously for the leg 2 will be on the 3rd and 4th of May. Benson, the whole Champions League, how was it for you, by the way?
Stanley, 10 years from now, I will not tell my child that Chelsea played well, but they were knocked out. I will tell my child Real Madrid fought a team that really wanted to overturn things. And in football, we are talking of results, we are talking of performance. We congratulate Chelsea, by the way. You really tried. You really tried.
Thank you.
We applaud Chelsea for trying. And remember, Santiago Bernabeu is not a place where you go and you you score 3 or 4 goals very easily. Are you talking of a Chelsea team that in the first half dominated Real Madrid? Are you talking of Rudiger, who was very brilliant scoring the first goal? Talk of goals that were coming. And I think Real Madrid were comfortable in the first half. It's like they saw they had Chelsea, maybe they had their boots on the throats of Chelsea. But when now they realized that Chelsea now have scored these 3 goals, who did it take maybe to change the game? Are you talking of moments? Are you talking of players whose even assist football pundits will tell you it deserves to be in the National Museum?
Indeed.
Are you talking of Luka Modric, a master of the class? He's a player who and the goal that even that assist of Modric was an error from a Chelsea player. Was it a tactical error that maybe people will talk about? We don't want to mention that. But talk of individual brilliance, talk of Karim Benzema, talk of Vinicius Jr. These are people who really wanted to show that still we are in the competition. Many people more so in the house watching that game because they decided to watch it in the house. I really thought Chelsea could win. When they scored the 3rd goal, they were really making noise, and I think
they literally turned out to be Manchester United fans at that point.
Yeah.
Actually, did you see the 1-2-1-2 of Timo Werner? Counting. Yeah.
It
deserved to be in the National Museum, right?
No, because we never saw
amazing,
results.
amazing,
So
man.
we don't want that in the museum. And I will tell you for a fact, there are teams which understand football, teams that understand if teamwork fails, then we rely on individual performance. That's Real Madrid for you. Chelsea played well, and I think beating Southampton, was it 6-0? Putting 6 past Southampton inspired them maybe to go to Madrid to attack because they knew they got nothing to lose. But going forward, I really think this Champions League trophy will still come to England.
All right. Now, for that particular, and briefly, before we come into the whole English Premier League team of the week, keep talking to us and tell us who is your preferred, team of the week, players of the week, and we will obviously be telling you who ours is. And obviously for the fans out there, share your videos and tell us who do you think, prefers to be there. But then, Benson, when you look at the semis, quite a tricky, for the whole leg 1. When you look at Man City and Real Madrid, what do you think? Your predictions on even the leg 1 of it?
Man City Real Madrid is a fixture that it's very difficult to call. But we are talking of a Manchester City team that we've seen them play. They are frustrating people. And if Manchester City had to watch how Chelsea played against Real Madrid and maybe to see how they managed to work on the errors that Madrid maybe committed. Even when Madrid were beaten 4-0 by Barcelona, is a team like Manchester City watching that and see maybe what are the errors that maybe we could use, what are the channels else we could use to beat Real Madrid. It's a very, very difficult fixture to call, but I think the first leg will be in England, and Manchester City. I'm a fan of Real Madrid, but I think Manchester City will win that game in the first leg.
All right, Evans, for Villarreal stunned Bayern Munich, and I was personally shocked that Bayern Munich were beaten by Villarreal. But then, so Villarreal will be playing and will be visiting England to play Liverpool. Do you think that fine? They're coming to this game and they're saying that we beat Bayern Munich. We are also going to beat Liverpool. Will that be the case, Evans?
Why are you underestimating Villarreal? They're the big boys. They beat Juventus, they beat Bayern Munich, and don't be surprised, they might even shake the Jurgen Klopp's boys. Well, the way I see that team playing, it's amazing. And for me, I think probably maybe we might see even a final between Manchester City and Villarreal. It is quite possible. Those boys are playing. And actually, when Arsenal fan watch what Unai is doing at Villarreal, I could just imagine what is running in their head. Like, this is a coach that was criticized, for buying useless players that they don't know how to play, and right now just see what he's doing. Remember, previously he won Europa League, and now he is in the semis of UEFA Champions League. Isn't that amazing, coach?
He is. So
that's patient pays.
I will stop underestimating Villarreal.
Does patience pays? You haven't answered my question.
Patience does pay sometimes though. And actually, the whole fact that matters patience. We really don't have time. So Evans, let's cross over to the whole English Premier League team of the week, and I feel like we can start with the fans. Yeah. If my director, we can play a bit of. We can start with Andrew's Andrew's clip of his chosen team of the week.
Niko hapa kuwapatia first 11 of the week. Tunaanza na Joan Oblak, tukuje Alexander Arnold, Alphonso Davies, kuna Rudiger, kuna Van Dijk, katikati tunaweka Kante. Tunakuja kucheza na Mbappe hapo right wing. Number 8 tunaweka De Bruyne, number 9 tunaweka Benzema. So mnajua venye alifanya Chelsea. Namba 10 tunapea Modric zile pasi zake, tutamalizia na Neymar. This time around no Messi, no Ronaldo.
All right, thank you very much, Andre, for that particular review for yourself. Remember, next time when you're taking that particular video, have it so that we can actually see your face and we don't really have to bend our heads. And we can have our last bit, that is Ifante's video before we come to our own.
The fantasy in this is my team of the week prediction. So in the goalkeeping position, I'd go with Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. In the right back position, and Frontier Residents, my two centre backs of the week will be Antonio Rudiger and John Stones from Manchester City. In the left back position, I'd pick Andrew Robertson. In the CDM, well, it's a little bit competitive depending on the performances that have been showcased in the previous week. But I'll go with either Carlos Casemiro from Real Madrid or Nabil Keita, once again from Liverpool. My two other midfielders will be Luka Modric and Christopher Nkunku. Up front, I'd go with Son Heung-min. Of course, he bagged a hat-trick against Aston Villa in the previous match. And Timo Werner was impressive as well, and Filip Kostic. So yeah, that sums up my team of the week prediction. And thank you guys. Enjoy your afternoon.
Fantastic. Also enjoy your afternoon. Very good afternoon. It is right here. And Evans, for your own preferred, I'm pretty sure you're going to mention Tuchel as the coach of the week. Are you not?
You read me. So for me, like the criteria that we used was based on individual performance and contribution to the teams in terms of goals that is scored.
All right, before you continue, my director, if you can have a display of that particular team of the week, graphics of it, fine, you can continue praising Tuchel and everything.
Now for me, obviously my goalkeeper first choice was Hugo Lloris. Then we had Theo Hernandez from AC Milan, that is the right wing. Then we have Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool. Then Antonio Rudiger, of course. he was amazing. Emric Laporte from Manchester City. Then there we have the likes of in the my number 6. My number 6 will go to what is this name? This name is quite itchy. But okay, let's go to the strike. We have for me, my striker will be Timo Werner. He was amazing the way he's played. Then obviously Son for scoring hat-trick. That will be my my number 10. Then we have the man that was responsible for sinking Barcelona. That is this Frankfurt player. He was really amazing there, scoring a lot of goals, and the way he even was scoring those goals was amazing. So I think those are the players that really stood out for me in terms of their contribution, because these are players that made a huge difference in the team. And for Werner, of course, how he has been. So for man of the match, it is Timo Werner, because the week in the midweek, that is the Champions League, and in the Premier League, their game against Southampton, you all see the way he played. And of course, manager of the week, Thomas Tuchel, 6, then 3-2, amazing.
Right, you definitely had to, praise your main man there, Benson. What do you prefer? Team of the week, maybe players of the week, manager of the week.
Briefly, I think up front I will be with Benzema, Kostic and Werner, because Kostic really was responsible for ensuring Barcelona went home, like Evans has said. Then talk of Timo Werner, who has been criticized of late, but I think he has been playing well. Are you coming to the midfield? Are you mentioning Luka Modric? Are you talking of other players like Kante who tried really very well, tried being in the CDM position? And then, in as much as I would like to mention Trent Alexander-Arnold and Reece James, I will not forget to mention the Villarreal left back is he Estupiñán, something of the sort. He was really responsible for marking the likes of Leroy Sané, talk of players of Bayern's caliber, to ensure that they could not find easy goals. Manager of the week, of course, for once I'm supporting Chelsea, I'll go with Thomas. He really came with a team that knew what to do in the second leg. Not only in the second leg, did you look at how the goals they scored against Southampton? Are you mentioning Mount in that midfield, the assist that he gave to Alonso? So these are really players that I could have wished they could have been in the team of the week. Yeah.
Right, then that is fine.
I know time is running, but you, Stanley, your team of the week.
My team of the week.
Yeah.
Let's. My director says because of time, we'll definitely do that next week. But then, fine, for the coach, I'll definitely give Tuchel. I mean, that only this particular week, I'll only give Tuchel. Maybe next week, probably Ten Hag. But the Ten Hag, is on board for Manchester United. We'll definitely see today's game, his particular performance and, his first ever game. And we'll definitely be looking at all that. Time is not really on our side, and we really have to call it a wrap. And we really thank you for being, for your company for the past 1 hour and 56 minutes or so. My good name is Stanley Nyeringita. Thank you very much. Kevin Benson, thank you also. Evans Auma, obviously, Azman on camera, my director, our director, Maureen, obviously in sound, Major Mine and graphics. Thank you very much, Eric Mshila. Let's do this next time. Meanwhile, enjoy your viewing. Let's meet at 9 p.m. by the way for the 9 p.m. news.